long time ago, I was in Afghanistan, and it was when we had first gotten there, and we didn't know much about it. And I was up on the second floor of a very rickety old hangar. And all of a sudden, the hangar started shaking. But I just assumed somebody was bringing in a large jet. And it wasn't until I gradually, slowly wandered back outside to see what was causing the noise that I recognized that we were in the middle of an earthquake. So I had done exactly the wrong things. I had interpreted it as a safe noise, not to be worried about.
The majority of people interviewed after an active shooter event have all stopped and asked themselves, was that a shot that was just fired? Is this really happening? And what am I going to do?
You hear loud noises all the time. Not, oh my goodness, that might be someone actually trying to kill people.
If you think you hear a gunshot, don't waste time asking yourself, was that a gunshot?
3 words I'd like you to remember are react, escape, and survive. React to the threat, escape from the threat, so that you can survive. You must do something. We spend a lot of time and trouble training people to do fire drills to get out of a building. So if you think about that with all the emphasis that we give to fire drills and how deadly fires are, you see the challenge involved in getting people to recognize the threat with an active shooter.
You may have some questions. Your brain is trying to process that information. Did I just hear a gunshot? You need to retrain your mind to react immediately. If I hear a gunshot, my first instinct is going to be to run, to get out of the building wherever I am.
We need to train ourselves to react quickly to what we hear or see. Don't freeze in fear. Remember, you must do something. Reacting to what you perceive as gunfire may save your own life and the lives of those around you.
How do you train people to react in a way that's effective under high levels of stress?
Some people, they just don't know what they don't know, unless you've been in these situations before. You just don't know how you're going to react.
Even though in situations that are oftentimes openly perilous on their face, we're still surprised when something bad happens to us.
You know, in times of stress, you're going to rise to the threat. Well, you know, studies show time and time again, you don't rise to the threat, you default to your level of training. So under stress, if you're going to default to your level of training, you better make sure you have the best training possible.
If you remember nothing else, you must do something. People don't necessarily want to react. Let me not rush into this. Let me just see what's happening. This has never happened before. There's got to be something else going on.
I break it down. What would I do or what would I want to know when faced with one of these problems?
One is action versus reaction. The notion of action versus reaction that we must understand is that the bad guy always has the jump on us. Observe, orient, decide, and act.
You present threatening behavior towards me, I have to understand that there is threatening behavior coming towards me. That's one reaction interval. For the average trained individual to respond to a threat requires about 1.5 seconds.
That's an eternity in a firefight. It doesn't sound like much, but that's a big jump.
How far can the average person run in about 1.5 seconds? 21 feet, 25 feet.
So have a plan.
You need to look at the exits. You need to know how to get out of your building and where you're going to go once you get out of your building.
Our decision that action versus reaction is often clouded by disbelief. Oh my gosh, is this really happening to me?
There's no need to panic when you're faced with a situation. You know what is going on, you know how to control, and you can deal with.
So that's the first lesson there.
The more information you have, the more data you collect and your ability to process it, the better decisions you're going to make.
Be prepared. Have a plan of what you're going to do in the event of an active shooter at your workplace. Know where all the exits are and the quickest routes to get to them. The more you know, the better decisions you're going to make. Conduct practice drills that include all employees, the first responders, police, and fire. The more you practice, the better prepared to take action you'll be.